Alright, welcome back to my channel. It's Cozy Christopher. Today Asus announced the ROG XG32UQ. Now I think this puts all discussions to bed that 32 inches is now the new standard for monitor sizes. As far as like the design looks good. It's almost bezel-less design like most monitors coming out these days. It's kind of three-sided bezel-less design with a little chin at the bottom. This doesn't look too bad. Their monitors, the ROG Asus monitors, always look good. So moving on to like some of the next gen stats or current gen stats, now that we're almost 2 years into some of these new systems. 4K HDR again, 160 Hz, HDMI 2.1, 1 millisecond G-Sync display, HDR 600, just covered that. But looking at some of the design elements here, as you can see, it has a tripod socket. It allows you to attach something to the top of this, whether it's going to be a webcam or something like that. On the side here, you got a five-way navigation joysticks. Frameless design. Again, it says frameless, but again, there's a chin at the bottom there. And then smart cable management, right? There's names for all of this, but cables can kind of weave up through the bottom of the base there. Moving forward, again, 4K 120 Hertz gaming, right? And so we've covered these stats: native 4K at 120 Hertz, HDMI 2.1 with full bandwidth, variable refresh rate, VRR, and auto low latency. Going to the next stats there, I like the little, I love the the animations they have there, but 4K at 140 Hertz on PCs with the latest graphics card, and again with the DisplayPort you can overclock that up to 160. And then DSC technology supports 4K visuals via the 1.4 connection, so DSC compressed signal there. 1 millisecond gray to gray, like a lot of companies, brands, manufacturers, etc. are starting to tout this, but it's kind of standard at this point, right? Some of these monitors are starting to be 0.1 millisecond response time, but on a 4K monitor, 1 millisecond is still amazing, right? GeForce, G-Sync. So this is kind of where it's confusing, where a lot of monitors are starting to say G-Sync compatible, but they're not saying G-Sync certified, and so we're just going to go with this one is not certified, it's just compatible. Color, HDR, amazing cinema grade colors. So display HDR certified at 600, so we're probably going to have an average of 300 to 400 nits on average, with the peak brightness being around 600 and 96% DCI P3 color gamut. Pretty good. That's pretty good for a monitor, especially for a fast gaming monitor. Variable refresh rate or variable overdrive, right? Includes 6 preset variable overdrive modes that dynamically adjust overdrive settings as frame rates fluctuate, eliminating ghosting for exceptionally smooth visuals. And so they're starting to get more and more proprietary with their terms around VRR and different ways they are improving the performance of VRR. So variable overdrive for Asus ROG Strix. And correct me if this is something different, right? I'm usually focusing on user experience and not necessarily the specs like this. So, but in-game enhancements that it has, and so still has the what is the stopwatch? Integrated GamePlus hotkey offers in-game enhancements that help you keep. I don't know what the stopwatch is. It doesn't tell us what the stopwatch is, and I haven't used an Asus monitor, so you let us know in the comment section what the stopwatch is. But crosshair built in, timer again. FPS counter and display alignment. I love that. So if you have multiple displays, especially because it's three-sided bezel-less, it helps get those in alignment better across that landscape there. Connectivity there. So it's almost like if you're a YouTube tech person, you have to say connectivity instead of connectivity. I don't know. Maybe that's a Canadian thing. Connectivity. USB 3.2, there's 2 of those. There's 2 HDMI 2.1s, and there's a DisplayPort 1.4 with the DSC, and there's also a 3.5 millimeter earphone jack, right? Moving over to the design here, design for comfort. So it has all of the things, right? Tilt, it has everything. So you got your height adjustment, you have your tilt, and you have your swivel, and so it covers all your bases on this, and this is VESA mountable with 100, I think it's 100 by 100 pattern, which is kind of standard for the sets there. So let's jump into some of like the tech specs that we haven't covered. I mean, they have them kind of listed all here. Color space sRGB is 130%, which I mean, usually sRGB at this point, everything's over 100. Kind of becoming standard with DCI P3 starting to be the consistent I guess, measurement of success at this point, of high grade at this point. If it's not high in DCI P3 at this point, you almost want to stay away from it. Moving from there, it's a non-glare display surface, and so that doesn't say if it's matte or anything like that. It just says it's non-glare, and so waiting for more details on that. Brightness again, 450. Peak brightness, 600. Contrast ratio is 1,000 to 1. Contrast ratio on HDR Max is 1,000,000 to 1. 10-bit panel, so good as a 10-bit panel. I've been seeing a lot of 8-bit panels being released lately. But this is a 10-bit panel, which with it being Asus and a 10-bit panel, 4K 160 hertz, I'm expecting a price of $13.99, $14.99, especially at the 32-inch mark, which it will be competing potentially with that LG, the LG 32-inch that just dropped to $9.99. And coincidentally, at 32 inches and 4K, it's going to be competing against some OLED technology as well here shortly. And so them dropping this makes me think again that 42-inch OLED is going to be about $1,700, $1,800, paying the Asus ROG Strix tax there, brass tax there. So, but all in all, this looks like a great monitor. It has some other things there like low blue light, flicker free, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Is your head starting to spin with all of these monitor releases this year? We got micro LED, we got OLED, we got the original IPS and VA panels, but this is going to be a great monitor just because they always produce great monitors as long as they don't overprice their stuff, right? And so I'm expecting to pay the Asus brass tax on this, and so I'm thinking somewhere $13.99, $12.99, maybe. Yeah, I think $13.99 is probably going to be the highest because this is going to compete with like that LG monitor that just dropped to $9.99 recently. And we know, and I hate to say it, but we know that their OLED monitor, the 42-inch, is going to come out at around $17.99, $18.99 because for a new technology with a heatsink, we're definitely going to pay the brass tax on that one. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, let me know, have you purchased a monitor yet this year? Are you happy with your purchase, or are you still holding out for that, excellent monitor or potentially Black Friday sales this upcoming holiday? Now, the Gigabyte Aorus S55U did release about a week or two ago at $1,099, and that is a phenomenal monitor, and I'm excited to see it, but I still pay for everything out of pocket. So I'm in the same boat as you all, and I'm kind of waiting and hedging my bets on the best monitor still to come out, or potentially may come back to the S55U just for pure real estate. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, stay cozy in that crazy world, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.